Recording this on my phone. I'm making my own canvas panel. So starting with the bars, essentially, and then I've got the canvas up there. This is really hard. I'll check back in. I've marked out all my pieces, so... And then I've got the other one over here. So hopefully I can get this done quickly. I don't know. We'll see. Hi guys! I'm back with another painting. I wanted to talk a little bit about my overall experience with this painting because I do think I am getting a lot of feedback from other artists that this is my best painting so far, and I kind of just wanted to talk about that, as well as the process that I took for this painting because it's a little bit different. I had to build the frame out myself, so basically I went to Pinterest, I took the reference photo from there, and then made my grid. I did have to cut off a little bit, but nothing like too important. And once I did that, I had to make sure that my canvas size was going to be the exact same size that I needed. So usually, like, if I print something pretty small, I have to multiply it by 2 or 3 just to get it to be a little bit bigger. And I did that. I cut my wood, and as you saw in the beginning, there's a few things that I wanted to cover. Cutting it with a handsaw, I felt like gave me obviously a cleaner line because there's like a template that I'm using, but it also took a lot longer, and I feel like I could have just nipped this in the bud if I used my jigsaw, but I'm not that confident with the jigsaw just yet. So I just decided to use the handsaw, and that was fine. It did take me 2 days, but I mean, what am I gonna do? I can't make a straight line with a jigsaw just yet. I will try that for my next painting though, when I make the frame. I am gonna try using the jigsaw and we'll see how that goes. If it comes out crooked, then I'm just gonna go back to the handsaw. Then I had to cut my canvas to the measurement, make sure that was correct, and make sure there was a bit of overhang so that I could staple it. I did that, and I had my wife help me stretch it because this is like my 3rd or 4th canvas that I've made, and I am not strong enough yet to stretch the material myself. It doesn't like pull all the way. I'm just not there yet. So my wife did help me, thankfully, and it worked out great. The tension was pretty good. I do wish it was a little bit tighter, but maybe in the next round. So when I went in and I started this painting, I didn't really go in with a sketch, so to speak. I did map out like where the eyes were supposed to be, the lips, and the nose, and that kind of gave me some freedom. Normally I do a pretty detailed sketch, and then I'm, trying really hard to make it look like, fill in those lines, I guess. It's kind of like I'm coloring when I do a sketch. And that's okay. I mean, oh, there's my wife. I think I learned that this way of doing it, just marking out where things are gonna go and doing the proportions myself with just the paint, was a lot simpler. And maybe that's why the likeness turned out, pretty good. I did have some trouble with the eyes. I felt like so it's going to be my right eye, her right eye was better than her left. And or no, sorry, it's the left eye that's better. I don't know. It's the one that's not in, that's like a little bit more brighter. Um, and I'm sure just by looking at it, you'll know which one I'm talking about. I felt like that one was better than the other eye, and I I just had a hard time because her eyes are so big, beautiful, beautiful eyes. But I think the proportions were just a little bit too big on one of the eyes. So that's okay. I'm still learning. Um, Another thing that I did with this painting was sort of prepare. I have been my last few paintings that I've done. I've been preparing the colors before I go to my palette, before I put it on the canvas. Sorry, and that's working out really well. But I will say the the trouble I had was trying to blend it on the canvas, and I could tell I was doing that, and it was coming out a little muddy on her cheeks. But, you know, again, I'm still learning, I'm still figuring it out. So, yeah, I really enjoyed the process for this, but I did decide to not use mediums for this painting. I took them all out. I had them ready. I was intending on using them. But for some reason I just didn't. And I think that I'm not sure that mediums alter color, but playing around with mediums so much, I do kind of feel like changes the texture. Obviously, it changes the texture of the paint. And so when I'm using multiple mediums in one painting, it's kind of hard to differentiate what I'm where I'm putting it, what I'm looking at, why I'm putting it there. I think I mix too many mediums together is what I'm trying to say. And I learned through just using oil paint for the first time in since I started this painting journey. I think it's been about a year now. I started with pencil and then I moved on to paints. But ever since I started using oil, I've always used a medium. And I kind of just thought, you know what? I'm just going to focus on the paint. And that's what I did. And it turned out really great. It took me also a lot shorter time to mix my paints because I wasn't fussing around with making sure the medium was mixed properly or whatever the case might be. I just felt like my time between palette and canvas was a lot shorter. And normally when I have medium involved, it takes me a while. I have to mix it, have to make sure the color is right, and is it actually the texture that I want, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm really happy. I will say with this canvas, I did gesso and do an acrylic wash with water for the first time, mixing all three. And I did that 3 times and sanded in between. And that made my canvas so soft and so much easier to work with. That also helped. So there were a lot of different factors that I think I want to stick with. I am going to try, instead of, when it comes to using a medium, I'm going to try just using one medium per painting. So if I want to finish up a painting really quickly, I'm going to use a specific medium for that. If I want it to be wet for a while, I'm going to use linseed, that sort of thing. So yeah, I ultimately just stuck with that, and it was great. I honestly had such a good time. I don't, I think the painting overall took me about 3 hours total. It was pretty short. There were some moments that I did not film, just because sometimes I needed a break, from having the camera over my shoulder. But yeah, it took me 3 hours, and I'm really proud of it. I love the feedback that I'm getting. A lot of people think it does look like Winona. at first, like the first few days, I didn't really see it. But it's funny because like as I've been editing this video, now I understand what they're talking about. Even though I have the painting here on my wall, like now I see it. I don't know. So I just really appreciated that feedback. Sometimes likeness is not important to me. Sometimes it's more I'm focusing on different things. And with this one, I did want to capture the likeness, and I think that I did that in some ways. I obviously had trouble with her eye. I had a bit of trouble with her lips, not gonna lie. I kind of have a hard time getting that like crackly effect, chapped effect. So yeah, and then the over blending on the cheeks. But yeah, this was good. I still had a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things, and it's kind of funny that like I was basically finishing her face and I did the hair, and that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I haven't touched a medium this entire painting. So maybe there's something to that. I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying it though. So if you listened all the way through, I sincerely appreciate it. I had such a good time. Unfortunately, another thing I realized was my printer printed the reference photo without that bluish hue, because originally the original like screen grab of that scene, it's really blue, and her skin is actually kind of like a whitish blue. My printer did not print that. So the color is a little off, but you know, overall I got what I wanted, and I really, really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. So thanks for listening to all the lessons I learned and the new discoveries that I made. I am so proud of this painting. Every day my love for it grows, and I just really like appreciate some of the feedback that I got on my Instagram, and if you're not following, it will be linked below. But yeah, I just think it's really sweet. You know, art can be a lonely time. It's kind of hard to find friends who want to talk to me about it, who know anything about art, and I'm also learning myself. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Sometimes I just forget, like, people can be so nice. Anytime I post one of my paintings on my Instagram, I get so nervous that people are going to be like, this is trash, or this didn't serve what you thought it was going to be. I don't know. But I'm learning that, like, people are actually really nice when you try something. So, yeah, thanks again. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, you can like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, whatever you want, or don't. That's fine too. I'm here every week. All right. Bye. before I go, I wanted to jump in here and talk about when I was cleaning my brushes. I used paint thinner, safflower oil, and solvent, and I was sort of testing out what worked best. I do have to say, unfortunately, I didn't like safflower oil. I felt like it took me a long time, and I was sort of just wasting oil. And obviously, like, I have the footage, so I know, like, it did take me a long time. I think paint thinner works the best, and solvent. So I think I'm gonna finish out my safflower oil, but I just wanted to note that. Okay, all right. Thanks for listening. Bye.